Hare Krishna. Today we're reading from the second canto, 2727, auspicious. Text 27. I don't know if it's auspicious, it's just... It's just 2727, I don't know.
Always auspicious.
It's all, yeah, Srimad Bhagavatam is always auspicious. Tokena jiva haranam yadulukikayas. Tokena jiva haranam yadulukikayas. Traimasikasya cha padasha kato pavritta. Traimasikasya cha padasha kato pavritta. Yadringatantaragatenna divis prishorvam. Yadringatantaragatenna divis prishorvam. Unmulanam tvitaratharjunayor nabhavyam. Unmulanam tvatiratharjunayor nabhavyam. I'll just make a little remark here. It just came to my mind. We kind of stumbled upon that long word, yeah? Did we? Which was Itaratharjuna. I cannot even pronounce now. But then, if we split it out, like it's easy. Itaratha, anyone else then, and Arjuna Yoho. It's easy. So sometimes we have different problems in our life. They just pile up and we think, oh my God, I cannot even pronounce that. But then if you kind of start splitting them up, dividing them, it's not that difficult. Krishna does not give impossible mission. Translation by His Divine Grace, A.C. Bhaktivedanta Swami Srila Prabhupada. Srila Prabhupada ki. There is no doubt about Lord Krishna's being the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how was it possible for him to kill a giant demon like Putana when he was just on the lap of his mother? To overturn a cart with his leg when he was only 3 months old? To uproot a pair of Arjuna trees so high that they touched the sky when he was only crawling? All these activities are impossible for anyone other than the Lord Himself. Purport. One cannot manufacture a God. It's just quite a long purport, just bear with me. One cannot manufacture a God by one's mental speculation or by numerical votes, as has become a practice for the less intelligent class of men. God is God eternally, and an ordinary living entity is eternally a part and parcel of God. God is one without a second, and the ordinary living entities are many without number. All such activities, all such living entities are maintained by God Himself, and that is the verdict of the Vedic literatures. When Krishna was on the lap of his mother, the demon Putana appeared before his mother and prayed to nurture the child in her lap. Mother Yashoda agreed, and the child was transferred onto the lap of Putana, who was in the garb of a respectable lady. Putana wanted to kill the child by smearing poison on the nipple of her breast. But when everything was complete, the Lord sucked her breast along with her very air of life. And the demon's gigantic body, said to be as long as 6 miles, fell down. But Lord Krishna did not need to expand himself to the length of the she-demon Putana, although he was quite competent to extend himself more than 6 miles long. In his Vamana incarnation, he posed himself as a dwarf Brahmana. But when he took possession of his land, promised by Bali Maharaja, he expanded his footstep to the top of the universe, extending over thousands and millions of miles. So it was not very difficult for Krishna to perform a miracle by extending his bodily feature, but he had no desire to do it because of his deep filial love for his mother, Yashoda. If Yashoda had seen Krishna in her lap extending 6 miles to cope with the she-demon Putana, then the natural filial love of Yashoda would have been hurt, because in that way Yashoda would have come to know that her so-called son Krishna was God himself. And with the knowledge of the godhood of Krishna, Yashoda Maya would have lost the temper of her love for Krishna as a natural mother. But as far as Lord Krishna is concerned, he is God always, either as a child on the lap of his mother or as the cover of the universe, Vamanadeva. He does not require to become God by undergoing severe penances, although some men think of becoming God in that way. By undergoing severe austerities and penances, one cannot become one or equal with God, but one can attain most of the godly qualities. A living being can attain godly qualities to a large extent, but he cannot become God, whereas Krishna, without undergoing any type of penance, is God always, either in the lap of his mother or growing up or at any stage of growth. Are you with me? So at the age of only 3 months, he killed the Shakatasura, who had remained hidden behind the cart in the house of Yashoda Maya. And when he was crawling and was distributing his and was disturbing his mother from doing household affairs, the mother tied him with a grinding pestle. But the naughty child dragged the pestle up to a pair of very high Arjuna trees in the yard of Yashoda Maya. And when the pestle was stuck between the pair of trees, they fell down with a horrible sound. It's mentioned here that, well, Krishna is a naughty boy. We all know that. And actually, Lord Chaitanya, when he was, in his tender age, as Nimai Pandit, he also exhibited these qualities. And Srila Prabhupada would say that if a boy is naughty, that means that he is intelligent. So he kind of manifests his intelligence. I remember Purnachandra Goswami was actually giving a class on this lila, the Madara lila, and he came to this point about Krishna being naughty, like feeding monkeys with yogurt and butter, and he said, yeah, I remember when I was a small boy, me and my brother, we squeezed ketchup into the iron, and when our mom started ironing our father's white shirt, it all came out. Yeah, another thing, well, they did multiple things, but he said also that there was a kind of whippersnapper, and he put that soil into the petrol, that tank. It was Purnachandra Goswami. He passed away in 2011. He's Srila Prabhupada's disciple. When Yashoda Maya came to see the happenings, so if your son is naughty, he's intelligent, so don't worry too much about that. Knowing without that, when Yashoda Maya came to see the happenings, she thought that her child had been saved from the falling trees by the mercy of the Lord, without knowing that the Lord himself, crawling in her yard, had wreaked the havoc. So that is the way of reciprocation of love affairs between the Lord and his devotees. Yashoda Maya wanted to have the Lord as her child, and the Lord played exactly like a child in her lap, but at the same time played the part of the Almighty Lord whenever it was so required. The beauty of such pastimes was that the Lord fulfilled everyone's desire. In the case of felling the gigantic Arjuna trees, the Lord's mission was to deliver the two sons of Kuvera, who were condemned to become trees by the curse of Narada, as well as to play like a crawling child in the yard of Yashoda, who took transcendental pleasure in seeing such activities of the Lord in the very yard of her home. The Lord, in any condition, is Lord of the universe, and he can act as such in any form, gigantic or small, as he likes. Read the verse again. There is no doubt about Lord Krishna's being the Supreme Lord. Otherwise, how was it possible for him to kill the giant demon like Putana when he was just on the lap of his mother, to overturn a cart with his leg when he was only 3 months old, to uproot a pair of Arjuna trees so high that they touched the sky when he was only crawling. All these activities are impossible for anyone other than the Lord himself. Namo Vishnu Padaya Krishna Prishtayam Tareshim Atem Bhaktivedanta Swami Niti Namaya Namaste Saraswati Gurvani Pracharine Shati Dashtayan Vancha Kalpatarupya Kripa Sinubhya Chapatita Nam Pavani Vyoshna Pyanamon Vancha Hare Krishna 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 Hare 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 Rama 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 Hare Hare. So this is, let's say, a sneak peek into the 10th canto, or Krishna book, where Krishna performs various mischievous and sweet pastimes, and among those pastimes are killing demons. And acharyas say that those demons were practically countless. Every day, Krishna and his friends went to herd the cows. At about 1 p.m., one demon came, and about 5 p.m., another one came. So after killing the first one, that meant that it's time for lunch. Otherwise, they would have forgotten that they need to eat, because those pastimes are so sweet that he and his friends having so much fun that they would have forgotten about eating. And then the second demon, when the second demon was being killed, that was meant what? Going home. Yeah, otherwise they wouldn't have come home. So much fun. But the most prominent ones, they are 21, numbered by in the 10th canto, and we all know their names somehow. Right? We can name a few now. Agasura, Bakasura, Pralambasura, Vyomasura, Arishtasura. Yeah, Putana, yeah. Because she's a lady, she doesn't, has this asuric kind of, yeah, Trinavarta. Oh, Trinavarta, yeah, well. But among them, we also have Indra, acting as a demon when he was trying to kill, villagers, including Krishna and Radharani and Mother Yashoda, everyone. He was so, infatuated. His ego was so kind of such an inflammation of his ego. He was really disturbed when the villagers denied to worship him. So, and also Lord Brahma can you imagine? The head of our sampradaya was also kind of testing Krishna, had a bit of a demonic nature. Well, acharyas say that we have two types of Krishna's pastimes. Nitya lilas, which goes all the time in the spiritual world, and Naimitika lilas, which occur here and there, especially when Krishna is manifesting his pastimes in the material universes. So Naimitika lilas, the differences, Jiva Goswami numbers them. There are four main differences. So first one is that Krishna doesn't take birth in Goloka Vrindavan, in the spiritual world. Even though they all know, all the inhabitants of Goloka Vrindavan, they all know that he is the son of Mother Yashoda and Nanda Maharaj, still he doesn't take birth. No one takes birth in the spiritual world. Whereas here, he sort of takes birth. It's not like an ordinary way that women give birth. So he takes birth, like it said he stepped out of Devaki's womb, and he was fully dressed. He had like all the ornaments, and he was speaking not like a newborn child. So that's the first difference. So the second one is that the gopis, they are actually not married in Goloka Vrindavana, whereas in the material world they are married, with some kind of stipulations that, for example, Abhimanyu is considered to be the husband of Radharani, but it is said that he never touched even her shadow. So he's considered to be a special incarnation of Krishna's shadow. So it's kind of interesting. Another difference is that, well, demons actually, back to demons. Demons, they do not exist in the spiritual world because it's not possible. They're all atheists. There is a face control, in the spiritual world. You cannot really enter that abode being. You can only go there being a pure devotee. So you need to completely cleanse your heart from all the anarthas in order to be able. Well, there are some special exemptions, like Kripa Shakti. Some like Srila Prabhupada can take us even if we're not completely pure. He has that potency, and he even I think he sometimes mentioned that when you're pure, 70%. Is that true? He gave us that concession. So yeah, demons. And I don't know, actually, I have like a few more minutes. It's such a vast topic. Like, I don't know what to do. So anyway, Kamsa was a good manager. He was a perfect yogi. He actually subdued all the demons that existed at that time. And it's not that they were kind of mates and they were really kind of eager to help Kamsa. No, there was two choices only. Either you die or you do what Kamsa says. But well, still they kind of hung out together and made plans how to kill Krishna. So he knew exactly who is going to be engaged in what. So Putana was a perfect candidate for killing Krishna, because she was also a yogini. So even though she was very ugly, naturally. Well, maybe she was kind of attractive for Rakshasas, but because of her yogic potency, her mystical potency, she just chanted some mantra and became so much attractive. So she was. It is said that everyone in the house of Nanda Maharaja thought that Goddess Lakshmi came, just descended to give blessings to Krishna. She was so perfectly dressed, well mannered, and she was so beautiful, and as it says here in the purport, respectable lady, that neither Yashoda nor Rahini, even though they are Niti Siddhas, they didn't even think of, chasing her away. So, not only that, but they gave their own life and soul, Krishna, to this lady. When she came into the room where Krishna was, he closed his eyes, as if he is afraid. But also it is said that there are kind of different reasons for that. And another one is that Krishna's glance is all auspicious. He didn't want her to be auspicious at this moment, because he is a perfect screenwriter. Krishna, he really kind of twists the plot, so he doesn't. It's like when, in the case of Srila Prabhupada, when Prabhupada arrived in New York, he went through so many tribulations and hardships. Otherwise, maybe we won't be that attracted to him if he was he had been greeted by the local authorities, New York mayor or someone else, and now Swamiji, please come. We can organize Carnegie Hall for you. Just give a class and yeah. If people won't follow you, we'll double tax them or something. No, it was so many hardships. Why those pastimes are important for us? Because it is said that killing different demons. Because it is said that in previous yugas, like in Satya Yuga, the demons, they were allocated different planets. They lived in different planets. We all, heard these stories when Hiranyakashipu was invading into, heavenly realm and actually subduing Indra and all the demigods. So, and then I think on Treta Yuga, they lived in different countries. Like, for example, Ravana was living in Lanka, and Rama was living in Ayodhya, and then in Dwapara Yuga, in the same families, Kurus and Kauravas. Yeah. But now, demons and devotees, or demigods, or suras, live in the same persons. So we can, I don't know about you, but if you look deep down inside, you can see like quite a few asuric. So it's important to study this, to read, because there is a rule of 3 E's. The first E is entertainment. It's very entertaining stories. If you read it, really kind of interesting. So it comes through our ears and it entertains us. Okay, next step is education. So if we spend some more time and study them thoroughly, then our mind, gets involved in that. So it's the next step. And if we're longing for Krishna's mercy and for Krishna's protection, and we're really serious in our devotional life, and we continue reading, even though we've read it many times, maybe, but we continue reading. That goes deep into the heart, and this is third E, enlightenment. So just enlightenment means that anarthas or demons start to kind of run away, hopefully. Today is very auspicious day, not because of this verse, but it's Bahulashtami. It is said that this is appearance of Radha Kunda. There are different opinions. I heard that I think was some senior devotees, they say that actually Radha Kunda appeared in the month of Chaitra, which is February. I mean, it's near to Balaram's appearance. Yeah. So, but anyway, it's a kind of custom that at Bahulashtami, 8th day of waning moon, all the people in Vrindavan and vicinities, they come to Radha Kunda at midnight, even though it's not mentioned at midnight. So Jiva Goswami says that actual Radha Kunda day is different, but Radha Kunda appearance also deals with another demon, which is Arishtasura. Arishtasura. Arishta means, I think, means to harm, or something like that. But Arishta means that he was kind of, no one could harm him or injure him, or whatever. He was kind of invincible. He was so potent that when the previous demon was killed, I think it was Shankachuda, he himself came to Kamsa and said, well, you should have told me that that you need something, to be fulfilled. It's just easy peasy. I'll just go there and I smash everyone and I'll kill Krishna, that little boy. It's not a problem at all. So he appeared in Vrindavan and he was terrorizing everyone, and he was so fearsome. We have quite a big bulls here. Krishna Kirtana would confirm that sometimes they even, like give you a little nudge and you're already kind of flying away. But that one, it is said that his hump was touching the clouds, and so he went around Vrindavan and his tail was demolishing houses, and he was roaring such loudly that even cows and gopis, they had miscarriages. So it caused a lot of trouble. And then he saw, and that was at twilight. At twilight, and Krishna was preparing to perform his Rasa Leela, because there was spring. Actually, there was spring. Everything was beautiful, and so he was about to perform his Rasa Leela. And lo and behold, this demon appears, Arishtasura, and he had a red eyes. He had very sharp horns. He was not only big but very fast, and he was very kind of dexterous personality, very, very, very dangerous. And he saw Krishna, and he probably thought, I don't know what was in his mind, but he thought, okay. So he charged at Krishna. But what Krishna did, he just leaned on Sudama. Oh, sorry, it was Subala, like that. And it was so much humiliating for Arishtasura, because if you're on par with some counterpart, you probably take some karate stance or something like that and be prepared. Krishna just humiliated him, like who is this? And so Aristasura charged at him. And then, he found himself on the ground. And it is said that it was so sudden that Krishna just, it's like a train. He was charging like a train, heavy train. And then all the what is called the carriages collapsed. And he found, I remember some years ago, I was trying to do some martial arts, and we had I was in the late 30s, and the person who brought me to that kind of section where we had some fights, it was kind of related to KGB or something. They were kind of quite steep guys there. So and that person was in his late 60s, and he said, well, let's do a little bit of. I said, oh, well, you're old. And then, what happened is I didn't really understand what happened. I found myself just on the mat, and I was dizzy, and I felt like my jaw was really kind of sore. He was smiling. I didn't even see what happened. I didn't see his hand or something. I just found myself on the floor. So the same happened to. Not same, but I'm just trying to convey that what's in my mind. To Aristasura, but he kind of tried to retaliate. He got up and he charged again, and then Krishna just threw him. It said in the 10th canto, 18 steps away, 18 steps, it's. We have to kind of note that most of the demons, they were kind of killed secretly. Like, for example, Trinavarta, some guy fell from the sky, this Shakatasura, this handcart just collapsed. Well, maybe it was old. Even Putana, no one knew what's happened, but Krishna just sucked all the poison, all the milk, and what is said, the very life air. Okay, and then she ran away, and she extended her form. She again became ugly, and she was like 6 miles big. And then Krishna is multitasker. She actually collapsed. She fell to the ground, and what she did is she smashed all the trees, and that was the favorite Kamsa's fruit trees grow. So Krishna is multitasker. She just smashed all his, fruits, and I lost track of what we were speaking. Aristasura, Aristasura. So he finally died. What Krishna did, he pulled out his horn, very sharp horn, and started stabbing him. And then, he fell to the ground. And Krishna says, it was like he's trampled on Aristasura as on the wet sponge. He just smashed him, and that was seen by everyone, especially by the gopis. And then, Krishna was still in kind of chivalrous mood, and show off, girls are here, and you saw what I did. Okay, let's do the Rasa Lila. And they said, no, you are contaminated. You killed the embodiment of Dharma, the bull. You are not supposed to do that. He said, but this is a demon? This was a demon. Radharani said, well, yeah, but that was a bull. He said, yeah, but this is a demon. But still, he's a bull. So he said, well, just come on, let's do this. And she slapped his hand away. Don't touch me. You're contaminated. So, okay, what am I supposed to do? And she said, well, you have to take bath in all the sacred places of the universe. He said, well, why should I bother? They all come here. So they all appeared, all the sacred places. personified, and Krishna put his feet on the ground, make like a big dent, and they filled it with water, and he took bath, and he said, well, now you are contaminated because you sided with the demon, so you take birth in my kunda, which is Shama Kunda. They said, no way, because you taken bath in that kunda, so your sins went out. So now we're not. The water is contaminated. We will do our own kunda. So they started, scratching. They took out their bracelets, started, scooping the earth. And they did it because Radharani has unlimited friends, gopis. So they all came and they quickly dug the big kind of pit. And Krishna said, "Wow, that's nice. Where is the water?" So they kind of made a chain, and they passed the jugs of water from Manasi Ganga. And it was pretty hot, and they were starting, perspiring. Krishna said, "Well, all right." And he kind of whispered to it was kind of a personification of the whole holy place, all the holy places in the universe. It just, if I would say that, well, let's just do the same thing with your kunda, she will not accept it. So that personification came to Radharani, offered obeisances, and said, "Please let me fill up your kunda with water from all the sacred places in the universe." And she kind of, with the corner of her eyes, looked at Krishna and smiled a little bit, smiled like that. "Okay, I got it. Got the message. Okay, let's do this." So now this became Radha Kunda. When Srila Prabhupada and his disciples first arrived at Radha Kunda, and the disciples, they didn't know. They arrived at some lake, and Srila Prabhupada said, "This is Radha Kunda," and they all immediately jumped in. Started swimming because they already knew what Radha Kunda is, how much glories does it have, and it just became a little bit of kind of tradition. But then they started kind of splashing and fighting in the water, and since then Prabhupada said, "Well, no, let's stop it, because you have to be really respectful, because this is a very sacred place. No water games, no nothing. Just put a few drops." But still, it's very auspicious to take bath, and I know that some devotees do, and I would like to bathe in Radha Kunda at some point, because before, when we were going to Vrindavan, I only put a few drops, but I really want to take a bath. It was, sorry, it's over time. Maybe one question, if there is any. Ajita Prabhu? Okay, so we have Radha Kunda and Shama Kunda here. Replicas. And Krishna Rupa Mataji brought some of, this is the authentic water from Radha Kunda. It's even salty. So shall we distribute it somehow? Or just put a cup. Okay. Well, when we finish the class, which is going to happen now, shall you distribute it? Just okay. You can do the prabhus. I can do the prabhu. It doesn't matter. I mean, in this case. Grantaraj Srimad Bhagavatam ki jai, Srila Prabhupada ki jai, Radha Kunda ki jai. Hare Krishna.